Hey, Mr. Kitty, Mr. Kitty, Mr. Kitty. Hello. Hey, Miss. Oh, are you? Oh, Mister. You're beautiful. No, I'm not even kidding. You're like the king of the world, mister. Look at you sitting up there near the ceiling. You are the king, mister, of the world. Lisa Fry, the Catholic unschooler, homeschooler, all around schooler. I love that. I always wanted my own intro. But Guten Morgen, I'll call you guys the Mishliks. Yes, what is a Mishlik? A Mishlik is between an Amish and a Catholic. Well, we are devout Catholics. We are not Amish, but we always adored the Amish way of living as far as hard work. So, good morning, Mishliks. If you are a subscriber, you are a Mishlik. Yes, you are. And what am I doing? Why am I wearing this awful thing? Well, anyway, the purple part is my pajamas. So I am getting what today's world would say is a mental health day, except I am not doing it just for a day. Not for just an hour, not for just a day, not for just a year, but always, right? So I have learned, even though I am using social media at this moment by recording myself, I just want to show you something really quick. Look how pretty. It's the beautiful snow outside. Look at that, huh? Look at it, look at it, look at it. It's gorgeous. Gorge. And that's what Mr. Kitty, that's what the Mistus is looking out at. Well, not at the moment, but yeah, he likes to sit up there. So many times I want to get rid of those mattresses. That was the whole point. But then he decided to really enjoy them and scratch the living daylights out of them. But what am I doing here? What am I doing this morning? Why am I here? What's going on? Well, even though I'm using social media by recording myself, first of all, bon appetito, because this is keto. Okay. It's morning, and I just realized more than ever, I would love all these little insights that we have, that my phone, okay, has been irritating the living daylights out of me, and I didn't know why. I didn't know why I was feeling anxiety. I didn't know why. Hold on a second. I said to myself, it's like, I don't know about you. Okay, so every day I wake up, all right? Every day, ever since Steven died, I hate saying that still. That's my late husband. I have so much anxiety that I can't even tell you. But I refuse, and I have been this close from saying, should I go on medication? Like, obviously not. So throughout the Bible, the best book in town and in the world, it tells you constantly to be anxious for nothing. Fear not. He gives us, he doesn't give us a spirit of fear. Be courageous. He's giving us these commands, and this is what we are to do, right? So if that is what he's saying, then why can't I do it? What is my problem, right? So I tell you, with a ton of focus on God and a ton of focus on picking the right people to talk to in your life, I have to get some of this. Hold on. I have a friend, Bobby. He's the best man. I hope someday you'll be able to meet him on here. He was the best man at our wedding. He helps me out so much. Oh my gosh. Just by being himself, and oh my gosh, he's just so encouraging to me. He pulls me out of my hole every single time. Oh my goodness. And so, I don't want to feel like that. That's horrible, horrible, horrible. I don't want it. You know, I'm worried about things in my future. And yet, God has been so incredibly, he says to the widow, I am the husband of the widow and the father of the fatherless. And so he has taken great care of us. I'm in awe constantly. But I'm always worried, like, are you gonna do it later? Are you gonna do it later? Like, how, Lord, how? Well, just when I thought, like, Lord, I've exhausted all the money that I thought was gonna be coming to me in my life. I've exhausted all of it. I don't know how I'm supposed to save for another van. Boom. I kept saying the word over and over again. I need X amount of money. I need X amount of money. And sure enough, X amount of money showed up that evening. Okay. And I should have went larger. Yeah, but no, seriously. But I want to read to you. So I decided that I'm going to spend way less time on my phone. I mean, I'll record my videos. That's my love. I love it. It actually is just so much fun. I've been doing it ever since Mr. Fry and I were actually, we got it on right before our wedding, for a bridal party and rehearsal and all that. So I just love it. So I'm not going to quit that. But, I can't even talk on the phone half the time. All right. So I really enjoy, if you read the Psalms, they talk about like the comforts that you can receive from God. And then when you read the Proverbs, it's how to live, right? How to think. What is the attitude I should have upon this person or that kind of person? What if somebody wants something from me? How am I supposed to treat that? This gives you all of that. It tells you all the curses you will get if you disobey me, meaning God, and all the blessings, right? So I love this. I love this. It's Proverbs chapter 3, attitude towards the Lord, right? Because people will say to you, I wish I didn't have to hold this camera. It's hurting my shoulder, but it won't fit in my thingamajiggy. Maybe if I put this over here and sit on the floor for you. Okay. Let's see. Hold on a second. Yeah. Woo. Okay, I got my coffee. I got my Bible. Ooh, and I got the daily gratitude that if you're watching, I don't know if you'll see this video, but this was my friend Richie from Alabama, Farmer Smith. His mommy gave this to me, and I do read out of it. Okay, so we'll take a look at that too. But can you see me okay? All right. Isn't this exciting? Yes, I don't have a television on. I don't have a video on. It's been totally quiet for a couple of hours now. Listen. Oh yeah. But before I read this, I want to tell you about look at one of my kids made when they were little. Isn't that nice? So, I want to tell you about therapy in a nutshell. You got to go see it if you have these issues. If you have anxiety, depression, blah, 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 grief, worry, there's probably a multiple of other things there. She actually helped me. I woke up yesterday with so much anxiety. I didn't have my eyes open yet. I'm like, you're kidding. But she tells you why that happens and how to handle it without medication and without anything, and how it's a physical thing that's actually happening inside your body. So I thought that was really cool, and how to handle it. And I did her exercises, just breathing and a couple other things like yawning and blinking, and there's a whole bunch of different things, but I did it, and the whole day, and ever since then I have been free from anxiety. Okay, also staying away from my phone. All right, so chapter 3, attitude towards the Lord. And you might say, well, there might be people in your life that say, you love God too much. I have been told that very many times. So you're going to be told these things in your life, I'm sure. And so this is what God says your attitude should be about him. My son, forget not my teaching. Keep in mind my commands for many days and years of life. And this is how you get peace. And peace will they bring you. So it's about obeying his commands, right? So when people say, well, nobody's perfect, I could just, why are you even saying that? What does that even mean? The Lord says, be perfect as your heavenly Father is perfect. So rather than say, well, nobody's perfect, we should strive to be perfect, right? So when you sin, you go to confession and you make it better. You see, you're always moving towards the Lord. You always have your eyes on the Lord, okay? Your advice to people should be about the Lord, and then there will be people that say to you, well, I'm not talking about God, and meanwhile, I have a situation going on, and first of all, you should pray. So praying, what are we praying to? What are we praying for? We're praying for God's guidance, right? He created us to know him. Why? So that when we talk to him, he's the answer, right? Like if I want to drink that coffee that's right there, I have to go pick it up. I have to put it to my mouth and drink. See what I mean? So it's very elementary, but it seems like in this world today, you have to be. So when we obey his commands and do not forget them, that's when, and not sometimes, but all the time, many days and years of life. That's when you receive peace. Let not kindness and fidelity leave you. Okay? We don't want to be, we want to be staunch in our faith, right? So you might somebody, oh, you're extreme. First of all, even if you put all your heart into it, you can't love God too much. I don't even think we're capable. It's not even possible. Like, you can't love God too much. That just sounds ridiculous. That's like saying you love your husband too much. You love your children too much. What does that even mean? I'm faithful too much. There's no such thing. So when people say that to you, don't be staunch. No, you want to be staunch. Okay? That is being loyal. All right? So let not kindness and your staunchness, your fidelity leave you. Don't let that happen. Bind them around your neck. Okay? So then will you win favor and good esteem before God and man? Yes. So it's not like, a lot of people want to please people, right? Which is great, but they want to please people more than God. And that's called human respect. And that is a mortal. So it separates your soul from God when you do that. So the way to get right with that is to confess your sins through confession. Okay? So so you can automatically please people when you please God. That's just the protocol here. Then you will win favor and good esteem before God and man. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. On your own intelligence, rely not, thank God. Yes. In all your ways, be mindful of him, and he will make straight your paths. So in all your ways, every bit of it, right? There's no, I'm going to leave God out tonight. Oh no. Or we're going to love God some of the time when I feel like it. Oh no. When you do that, he says, guess what he's going to do to you? He's going to vomit you out of his mouth. He will say, get behind me. I never knew you. He's telling us how to obey him. Be not wise in your own eyes. Fear the Lord and turn away from evil. This will mean, now I knew of a person, I won't say who, but not that you know them. I knew a person that said you have to have a little evil with the good. And I was like, huh? I said, if you think that I'm going to have evil in my life to balance out the good, I said, forget it. It ain't happening. So, do I mess up? Do I sin? Do I make mistakes? Yes. I'm not boasting about it. I'm not proud of it, but I do. And when I do, I go get right when I know that I'm doing wrong. Okay. So this will mean health for your flesh when you do all of these things, right? This will mean health for your flesh and vigor for your bones. You will have physical strength for your bones. Okay? Honor the Lord with your wealth. Okay, before I go into that, I want to back up with the flesh part and the physical strength of vigor for your bones. I have been wanting so desperately for the last, I would say, working on 2 months. I don't even know. It's been around that time in my health, right? I haven't eaten anything horrible. I think I had one cookie and a little wedge of a brownie at a funeral, and I didn't even feel good afterwards, even though it was wonderful in the moment. But I haven't, and I've taken great care of myself, like just such great care of myself that that's great. That's what you must do, right? That's what I should have been doing for the last 20 years. However, that's not the only way, right? So, yes, make your physical being strong, and you know what? By doing the right things like that. But also, when you obey the commands, this will mean health for your flesh and physical strength, vigor for your bones. So that's also another way of bringing it in. Let's take as much as we can. Where can we get all the physical health and all, our minds, our path straight? How are we going to make everything perfect, right? So by obeying his commands, by not relying on your own intelligence, but on him. So when we do these things, everything just kind of works out, see? Because this is how he created it to be, which is awesome. Honor the Lord with your wealth, with the first fruits of all your produce, okay? That's why if I say I have a steak. So I had a steak the other night, right? Now nobody was around. I was just cooking it, right? So I'm making it. I'm all alone, and all of a sudden my daughters come downstairs. Okay, I'm thinking, well, maybe I'll share it with them. And then a friend comes over. Okay, I'll have to share it with them. And then I'm like, then two more friends come over. So I'm like, oh wow, okay. I'm like, you know what? I could feel myself wanting to get selfish. And I said, Lisa, we're going to feed people because God gave you this steak. Okay. I didn't work for it as far as going out to go, and I work for it like on a daily basis. I am active and proactive in my life. But I didn't go at a job, get paid, and do it that way. So I'm looking at it like, and even if I did have a job to go and get it like that, I would still say, wow, Lord, you gave this to me. You gave me the job. You gave me everything I have. So I must share this because he gave it to me. So I have to share it with someone else. So that's what I'm talking about. Then will your barns be filled with grain, okay? With new wine, your vats will overflow, okay? And that's a lot of times I'm saying, oh, wow, how am I giving people wine and beef stew right now? Like, how? How? I just feel like it's always like just falling from the sky, and all these things, they just come upon me. It's like one blessing after the next. I mean, do hard things come my way? Oh. Okay, yes, they do. However, through it all, like last night, I was able to actually say, I think I was driving, and I said, Lord, I said, thank you. Thank you for even, you ready for this one? It was hard for me to say, and I even said that. I couldn't say it out loud. I was praying out loud. I was talking to God, and then all of a sudden, I said this one thing in my mind to God, and I said, I'm sorry, I had a hard time saying that, and that was, thank you for even taking Stephen, because God knows. God knows what he's doing. My mother always said, God is not stupid. And God knows. So he did it for the perfect reason. God's ways are perfect. Okay, so the discipline of the Lord, my son, disdain not, spurn not his reproof. For whom the Lord loves, he reproves, and he chastises the son he favors. So it's all good. Yes, I love this book. It's so filled with everything that is good. I love it. And you know what's really great? You know, the Lord talks about how teach them in the way they should go, meaning your children, and they will not depart from it. I think about how my own children, you know, you worry. You say, oh my gosh, like, are they going to ever, like, open a Bible? Are they ever going to want to do this or that according to the Lord? And, you know, it's beautiful because my children are wanting, they bought their own Bibles. They are highlighting, they're taking notes, and all on their own. Now they're giving me advice on what to do with the Lord. So I just love it. So, because God says, yeah, they will not depart from it when they are old. So, okay, we're going to read this now. Daily gratitude. Okay, today is, all right. All right, so today in Mama's book, Mama from Alabama, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Matthew chapter 5, verse 8. What a promise, Lord, to see you and bask in your glory. Every so often, I've encouraged someone who seems to be illuminated from within, who just shines spiritually with the simplicity and clarity of the truly pure at heart. Thank you for putting those people in my path. Amen. Please give me purity of heart, Lord. Let me be as the writer of Psalm 42, knowing that as the heart panteth after the water brook, so panteth my soul after thee, O God. Isn't that nice? It's true. Yes, our soul doesn't rest until it rests in thee, right? And I'm reading this book at night. That's part of, so happy Lent. Part of there's a few things I'm doing for Lent. And it's funny because every time Lent is on its way, I always practice what I want to do, like a couple of months before, to see if I am capable, if this is something I want to really do. Because I think you should fulfill what you're going to do. And if you make it too hard on yourself and it's not realistic, then... So I usually end up mastering what it is, right? Because it takes a good 40 days to create a good habit. And this is how long Jesus was in the desert for, right? So I mastered the food part, which is a holy miracle. And I will give all the credit to my 54-day novena, okay? I did a 54-day novena to the Blessed Mother for all cancer patients and all the people that have been praying for us and their concerns and their loved ones. And I also prayed for other things in my life. And one of them was that I could lose weight. But within losing weight, it was so much more. Like, that is just going to be a wonderful side effect because it feels so much better, right? Gluttony into the virtue of self-control is the goal, because I don't need to be in hell where they're just constantly feeding me. Like, I could be the greatest Catholic, but if I'm having the sin of gluttony, and that is one of the 7 deadly sins, that is not good for me. So I just kept saying to myself, something's not in line. How can I be striving to be a holy woman, a holy Catholic devout woman all the days of my life, but yet not set straight all that? And it was just so much I didn't know. It was like I wasn't educated, no matter how much education I got of it, no matter how much I sought it out. I just didn't seem to, I wasn't horrible. I wasn't like over the top horrible. I mean, a lot of times I would eat really healthy foods, you know what I mean? But it just, you know, did it stop me from eating pizzas? And did it stop me from eating cakes if I saw it? Would it stop me from eating a cupcake? Would it stop me from, and I would have to say that now it has, okay? Does it mean I'll never have it again? I have no idea. But I just, as of right now, when I look at something, I go, wow, that looks so good. But I'm like, you know what? It's not going to be good. I already promised my organs that I was going to bring healing upon them every day. And I want to. And I think about like all, like if I was going to put sugar into my mouth right now, how that's going to make my organs work. I know they're probably capable. Obviously, I've been doing it for the last 20 years, but I don't want them to stress out anymore. I feel like me just walking around, me just laying down at night. Sometimes I record myself sleeping because I need to hear, how am I doing? So it's amazing to me how, if you're a person who is finding it difficult with anxiety, I would imagine depression being the same thing, or grieving, or whatever it is, it's amazing to me how long it takes to find, maybe for some people it's quick. I'm sure it can be. It has taken me now, it's almost, let's see, what is this? So, yeah, over 3.5 years to find a place of peace. And I don't, have I arrived 100%? I don't know. I can tell you that in the last 2 days, I have had peace. And number one, so when the beginning of Lent came, I went to Mass and I asked God to, you know, I stayed for adoration afterwards, and I asked God to consecrate this Lenten season, you know, for me and my family and all Catholics around the world. And, you know, make it, I want it to be so, it's a solemn time, right? A very reflective and sorrowful and, you know, not celebratory, you know, like, oh, parties and, you know, fine foods and feasts and things like that. But, it's more of a reflective time about like what Jesus is about to endure for Good Friday. So we spend these 40 days fasting because Jesus spent that time in the desert. And so that's what we're doing. And that's how long it takes to create a really good habit. So for me, what I have been doing is, let's see, some of the things are not spending so much time on social media, or even just picking up my phone, or not even talking on it. Last night I was driving home and I was like, I am tired. I know I'm talking to you right now, and that's okay. But I'm talking about like when I'm on the phone all the time, you know, like I'm tired of hearing my own voice. Okay. I am. I'm just tired of hearing it. So I'm tired of giving my opinion. It's like, I just want to be quiet. I just want to be quiet. I want to spend the days being quiet and just being reflective and just having the noises around me without me inviting other noises. And that includes people talking to me too. So that's what I have to do. It's more of a quiet time. Like what I hear right now, you know? So giving up the phone and leaving it in the other room. Wow, like the other day I went on it in the morning, and then the next time I went on it was like at 10 o'clock at night, and I left it in the other room. It was wonderful. And then when I went back to it, I saw, okay, so a few people called me. All right. You know, I spend hours on it, like listening. I have really great YouTube videos that I personally like to watch, you know? And so I'm even putting a stop to that for the majority. Will it mean that I'm not going to listen to them at all? No. But it's going to mean that I think we weren't created for that. I just don't. It just feels awful. It gives me anxiety. I don't know about you. All right, so there's that. And before I go to bed, to read holy books. Reading holy books is so important to the soul because you have to know how the saints got there and to read books about the saints. So I believe it's the one at the top. Yeah, those are all my saint books. Those are from all great saints, the one on the left there. I used to say to my father, do you have a good book for me to read? He's like, Lisa, why are you reading that particular book when, here's a book about a saint. Read the books about the people who already made it there. And so there's that. And so reading holy books, I think what I'm going to do is after I read my Joy of Suffering book from St. Therese, I'm going to read her diary, which I do believe I have. So that's going to be very good. I did read it once before, but I really want to soak it in, because every time you go through different phases in your life, it's helpful to read these things, and it kind of hits you in a different way because you're at a different place in your life, right? I want to know how she thought. She had these, emotional problems too. And so there's reading holy books before bed. And my other thing is trying. And I will tell you right now, I did it last night. I didn't go to bed with anything that I was listening to. Usually I want to fill the empty space with noise, and whether it's, wind howling, a fire crackling, somebody telling me the Psalms in the middle of the night, on the YouTube, my favorite YouTube channel, maybe some music, whatever it is, I want complete silence. So, and I will say to you, I had a most beautiful sleep. Yes, I did. And I didn't wake up with any anxiety once again. And I really think this breathing technique, she was talking about, like, okay, when you feel that, there's a breathing you can do that will actually put pressure on this particular nerve in your body, that when you breathe in 5 seconds, hold it 5 seconds-ish, and then let it out 5 seconds-ish, right? So whenever I feel like I need to do it, no matter where I am, no matter what for, if maybe my heart my heartbeat's rising, or maybe I feel anxious, whatever it is, I hold it, and then, and I keep doing it until I feel better. And it doesn't take very long, and then I'm free for the day. So it's like an actual physical thing. Now see, I hear the phone ringing, and I'm not running to it. I'm just not. Let me show you a picture. I might have shown this to you before, but look, that's me and Steve. Let me get away from the light. Sorry. Can you see that? Yeah. That's me and Steve when we were dating. I love how I'm leaning into him, and I love how he has his hand pulling me towards him. That was genuine right there. See that? See those smiles? That was a genuine. Oh yeah. We were just always loved to be together. We brought so much joy to each other. He was my rock and roll star. I used to tell him all the time, I'm your biggest fan. Like, if you go on to my channel when he was with me, you'll see he was playing right in this room. This was his little studio, him and Rachel. This room has been many things. This was a playroom for many years when the kids were little. We had toys galore everywhere, all over the shelves. That's all that was over here was toys. We had couches in here for them. When we'd party, everybody was hanging out in here. It was great. It was wonderful. And then he changed it into, he put a spotlight up there for his little stage performance. And I'd come in the room. He had all his amplifiers and guitars, and Rachel had her sound machine in here, or her recording studio. And I'd come in the room, and I'd be like, I made a video, and I was like, oh, because it was so true. True. I can't even tell you enough about that man. I can't. I just can't. I don't even want to get depressed. See, this is where it comes. But it feels good to talk about him, It's just the missing of him. I do believe with all my heart, and I rest in that I will be with him again. And I will see that beautiful face again live. So that's good. But it's just wanting to see him. The yearning to see him again is overwhelming. Excuse me. I want to show you my, if I haven't already, this was up in the mountains. That was us. When we were dating, we were I was my mid-20s. He was just wonderful. You know, I look at him and I'm it's so hard. He was made for me. He was. And I know that because he was never after me. He was never with anybody again. And then he died. When Adam and Eve were made, Eve was made for Adam so that he wasn't alone. And this gentleman that you're looking at right there, when I was born, God made me for him, designed me for him. I was made from his rib. I just love looking at him. And this is why it hurts so much, because I feel like it is as though part of my heart went to heaven with him. And I just long to see that beautiful face. He was so much fun. We used to go up in that area where the mountains are all the time. We used to go by the rivers. We were like Tarzan. Tarzan and Jane, and I'm not even kidding. I have the most wonderful picture, I do, of us. It's so great. It was like I found this man in the middle of the jungle. And we were hugging, holding on to each other. I gotta find it. Let me look for it now. Okay, you are lucky, honey. I found it. I was determined. I almost gave up. I could feel me wanting to give up. Sarah's here, so say hello. Hello. Okay, so are you ready for the most iconic picture in my life? The most iconic, besides this one that I did show you, I'm going to show you another iconic one. All right, ready? Now think Tarzan and Jane. Here we are. Looky, looky, looky. It's like I found this Tarzan dude in the middle of the woods somewhere. And I mean, everywhere we went, as you see, we always just held on to each other for dear life. Oh, yes. That's my Tarzan and Jane look. Yep. Yep. Now do you blame me, darling? Now do you blame me? I'm also going to share with you my grandmother. This is very private. Ho, 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 ho. All right. I love my Nana. I do. I love my Nana. She lived on the first floor and I lived on the second. She was right straight from Italy. And you're going to see a picture of my father as an altar boy. How cute. All right, ready? This is my Nana. She lived on the first floor and I lived on the second. You'll see the 3-decker house. And I don't know if that's the actual house, but I'll show you. This is exactly what kind of, I mean, it was right next door, if not. Okay, yeah, so we had a 3-decker house, and she lived on the first, I lived on the second, and neighbors lived on the third. But there's my grandmother right from Italy. I love her. There's my daddy, okay? And look at that, 1956, beautiful. Look how they dressed. She loved her son. Look at my father. Look how cute. How beautiful. My children are always saying to me, Mama, why do you look like that? Like, why are you looking at me like that? And you always think I'm looking at them with disgust, right? Yeah, because I'll look at them. I'll just be staring at them or whatever. And I'm like, and I might be thinking something. I don't know. But I found a picture of myself when I was little. And yep, I have the resting face. You ready? Oh my goodness, there it is. Look it. And I used to love Wonder Woman. Oh my goodness, I loved Wonder Woman so much. But yep, so yep, I have the resting face. See it? I look like I'm disgusted. That's the day I'll never forget my mother chopped my hair off. Okay, and here's a picture of Mr. Fry. This was when I believe we were married. Yep, and he joined the church baseball team. And see, even on the back then, I love this man. Oh yeah. Yep, there he is, ladies and gentlemen. He must have been in his late 30s. Yeah. Maybe mid to late 30s, I would say.